Okay, kittens, hello. Welcome to the tarotscopes for September. So happy to do this with you. I was just pulling the cards, and I think I mentioned I'm going to pull a tarot card and an animal spirit card to just kind of feel into the energy a little more widely, a little more specifically at the same time. And hummingbird kept popping out of the animal spirit deck. It kept coming out like literally 4 times. And finally, I was like, okay, I see you. I'm taking you out. That and the underlying for the entire zodiac, the whole crew of you, all of you, sun, moon, rising, Venus, etc., is the Wheel of Fortune and the Dragon. So I have Hummingbird, Wheel of Fortune, and Dragon all sitting here with me. Dude, this is a time of transformation. This is a time of pretty profound change. So I'll just recap that the September energy wants us to pay attention, but like eyes wide open. Take it all in this month. Pay attention. Take it all in. It's not going to be the same. Things are changing, and that is both liberating and, different. So can you just be with what is a little more fully this month? I offer that to you. Hummingbird says there's sweetness everywhere. So be with the sweetness, be with the sweetness. And watch how the timeline we've been living in transforms from this kind of linear place to this mythic place. That's the journey we're on. That's the ride we're on. Mythic time. It's very much with us right now, and it's very much with us in September. Buckle up, enjoy, eyes wide open. This is why we've come. This is why we've come. You chose this. You chose this. You chose this incarnation, this time, this moment, this life. You chose to be listening to me right now. This is all right. We are all right on time, and this is exactly where we're meant to be. And let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to start with Virgo. Virgo, sweet, sweet baby. I pulled 10 of Cups and the Phoenix card. Deep transformation around your heart, your fulfillment, like the things you dream of. So what do you dream of? What is a perfect life for you? What is your idea of real fullness, completion, satisfaction? Whatever that means to you, whatever you've been building, yearning for, creating. The Phoenix says there's deep transformation in that, and it doesn't come in like that's going to blow up. It comes in like you're going to have greater access to it. It's just cool. I know me, right? It's so interesting. But it is interesting. It's fantastic. To have the Phoenix energy in the 10 of Cups is like there is more possible than you realize. And you are transforming into the person who can hold more, whose capacity for fullness, satisfaction, abundance is increasing. Like you don't even know how good it can get. It's such cool energy, Virgo. Please, please, please be with yourself. Be patient with yourself in this transformation and trust this transformation and know that it's taking you to a place where, like I said, your wire, your capacity, your ampage, your wattage is increasing by leaps and bounds, and you're going to be able to take in more than you've ever taken before. You're going to be able to enjoy more than you ever have before. Listen, that doesn't happen all the time, so enjoy that. Libra, I have the Deer and the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles means many things. Here it really is coming in like collaboration. I want you to really feel into the way that you are enough. Like you are enough. So when you collaborate, when you come together as a group, when you're building something, can you lean into the fact that it's less about what you do and more about the gift of your presence? More about the gift of your presence. The Deer is like Mother Mary energy. It's very gentle, compassionate, loving, patient, also highly sensitive. So the beauty of the deer is its sensitivity, and the challenge of a deer is its sensitivity. You can't quite rest. If you've ever watched a deer in the wild, the way it moves, right? It's so defenseless, so it relies on its hypervigilance, and there's something about that that is wonderful, but in this moment you're being asked to relax it. You're being asked to recognize that you're safe and that whatever you're building, whatever you're collaborating around, everyone's happy to have you there. Like it's enough for you to be there. I hope that makes sense. I feel it really strongly. There's this like relaxation of your hypervigilance that's being called for in this month. The perfection of what you're creating exists. The perfection of your collaborations, of your community exists. You can take your hands off the wheel a little bit. You can be less active in how you are part of that. Scorpio, Owl and the 8 of Pentacles. You had the 8 of Pentacles last month, and it was really about focusing on your work. It came in reverse this month, which, as we know, I don't really read reversals, but there was something about it that caught my attention. And then when Owl came out next to it, it was this sense of watching, like this sense of your work has been enough. What you've done is enough. And just watching the work echo, like watching the work you've done, what it creates, almost the way like with a garden you would do all the labor of the garden and then watch it, and you still have to work at it, but there's more this moment where you sit back and just kind of enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's a phrase for a reason. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. I think about this tomato plant I have by the side of my deck that's like, what do they call it? Like it's self-seeded itself. So it's just, oh, a volunteer. Someone calls it a volunteer. It's a volunteer tomato plant. It's the most abundant of all my tomato plants. It's lovely. It's right on my deck. Nobody would plan to put a tomato plant there. And yet it's such a gift to me. And it's something like that, this energy of you work really hard and you can now enjoy the fruits of your labor, but even enjoy the unexpected parts of that. And the owl has this kind of reverence, this patience, this wisdom about the fact that you've done it all the right way. Like you've done enough. And now you can just sit for a minute and just witness for a few minutes, appreciate, pay attention, as I've mentioned before. Okay, good luck, Scorpio. Sagittarius, 7 of Cups and the sea serpent. So the 7 of Cups, all that glitters is not gold. A sense of where your true satisfaction, where your true fulfillment lies, and how that's taken a new shape. The 7 of Cups is usually about the sense of what the world tells us will bring us satisfaction. The sea serpent is really about our sacral chakra. It's about our own creativity, our own passion, our own creative force. So the sea serpent and the 7 of Cups coming in together is kind of like, it's your turn. Like it's your turn to sing. It's your turn to share. It's your turn to define what satisfaction is, what pleasure is, and to add your cup. Like to put your cup on the mantle and be like, that's the worthy one. That's the one that matters. That's the one I'm aiming for. There's so much generative possibility in these 2 cards, and it feels like adding to the canon. Like you are going to redefine what satisfaction is in a way that is new and that really becomes a kind of true north to you. That's cool energy. Focus on your sacral, and it does tie back to this idea of paying attention and just enjoying what is, enjoying your instincts, your creativity, your capacity to generate exactly what you need. Capricorn, stingray and the hierophant. Ooh, that's a funny energy together. So the hierophant, we know, is kind of the pope. It's tradition and rules and mediation. It's the bridge between you and what is sacred. The stingray feels like floating in the water, like swimming in the sacred waters. I've ever seen a stingray move, right? The fluidity with which they are immersed in the water, the ease with which they move through the water. So I can feel that almost for you as a tension. Hierophant and Capricorn are comfortable bedfellows. There's just kind of this comfort in this is how it's done. And the stingray is like, but what does it feel like? And something about that feels like it might be a tension for you this month. Understanding what the rules are, how you play by the rules, what rules have defined your movement, and then also kind of wanting to go play. There's like this pull out to like, just come swim with me, forget about the rules, take your clothes off, let's skate up under the full moon. Like it's that kind of energy. So a little bit of a siren, a temptation, and I don't feel it as a person, I feel it as a part of yourself that maybe isn't getting enough playtime and is calling you to come play in the water. It's going to benefit you. It's going to soften the edges where you need to. And maybe you could believe that that nonlinear play is going to get you where you need to go even faster than the rules will, than the well-trod path will. Good luck, Capricorn. Aquarius, snake and death. All right, sweetheart, that is regeneration times 2. There is something pretty profound shifting for you. There is a shedding happening, a transformation happening. And like we always say, it's both liberating and beautiful and painful. Be with this process. To have the snake and death on top of the hermit and the tower means something pretty significant is going to change for you. So be patient with yourself, be there with yourself, and like I said at the end of the energy reading, be very patient with your discomfort, with the non-linearity of it all, with the sense of, I've never done this before. You haven't. You have never done this before. My daughter and I were talking, I was trying to help her with my oldest daughter. Nina's going to be a senior in high school. And I was trying to help her with something for the SATs, and I was like giving her all this advice, and she's like, you know, she's like, you're giving me kind of contradictory advice. She goes, I know you mean well. And I was like, I do mean well. I was like, and I apologize. I was like, because I have never done this before. I've never had a 17-year-old daughter who is the love of my life that I'm trying to guide into this place where I am not the guide anymore. And so there has to be this real compassion for yourself. Like wherever you are, you haven't been there before, and that's okay. And it's okay if you don't do it perfectly. We're all learning. Yay, life. Be really patient with yourself this month, Aquarius. this is a pretty significant transformation, and there's much goodness on the other side of it, but that doesn't mean it's always comfortable to walk through it. Pisces. Ooh, Pisces. 9 of Pentacles and the Fox. I can't help it, and this might be a very literal reading of it, but this is what comes through. 9 of Pentacles is happy alone. I'm happy, I'm content in my space, I have everything I need. The Fox is the perfect partner. I can't help but read these two cards together as someone showing up to tempt you away from your singleness. And maybe it's singleness like romantically, maybe it's singleness like work-wise, maybe it's singleness in terms of how you operate, but somebody wants to partner with you and they are kind of the perfect partner. So could you open up to the possibility of playing with them, of, you know, stepping out of the garden gates and seeing what the world might be calling you towards? Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward energy. You might feel the pull of like, I don't know, I've done this by myself for a long time, and the Fox is like, yeah, but we could have more fun together. See if you can listen to that. Aries. Oh, Aries. Knight of Pentacles and the Mouse. Go slow, go slow. This is the most un-Aries energy I could pull from either of these decks. And it says to me, take your time. Take your time. Be aware of cautiousness this month, and you might be in areas where it's like, I'm never cautious, and so that's something I need to be more of, or lean into, or explore, or play with. Or you might be in areas that has some fear and has felt overly cautious. And these two cards together would be like, you don't have to be so cautious. So it's this idea of caution, this idea of pacing and movement, and just a sense of, yeah, I'm going to let you decide what that means for you, but how does cautiousness, how does fear, how does planning live in your body? Is that something that you want to kind of like throw off, like the way the hermit would throw off the cloak that doesn't fit anymore? Or is that something you want to kind of snuggle into, the way the hermit might wrap themselves a little more tightly in that cloak? That's for you to decide, but it's a very clear message around how you dance with caution and what new shape that could take. Taurus. Octopus, Ace of Wands. Okay. Funny. All right, hold on. I have to feel this one. Ace of Wands, we know, is like sexy vitality, all good things that grow, and being turned on. Octopus is loose. The octopus is known for its formlessness, and you could read that as be careful. You could read that as like, be careful of who you let into your space, but that doesn't feel like the primary message. That feels like a, listen, however you've moved with codependency in your life, Ace of Wands can be being so turned on, so excited, so ignited that you forget everything you've learned about attachment and codependency and relationships, and you could just be like, take me, baby. And as much as that might be beautiful, the octopus is kind of the gift of formlessness and the difficulty coming back from formlessness. I hope that makes sense. Like letting the container shape you versus deciding what shape you want to take. That's secondary. Primarily, it feels like the good side of this. It feels like you are entering new terrain. You have never, similar to what I said for Aquarius, you are entering new terrain. You have never been here before. You have the ability to shapeshift and be whatever you need to in this moment, but you haven't been here before. So be patient. You especially, eyes wide open, pay attention, watch this. There's something magical happening in your shapeshifting that you don't want to miss, and that's going to feel damn good. That's cool. That's really interesting energy, Taurus. If you have these cards, these decks at home, you might want to sit with these two cards and see what else comes to you. Gemini, Cobra and 8 of Cups. Okay, this says to me that your heat, your like independence, your quest, your thirst for life is activated this month, and it's going to cause you to strike out on your own, to strike out on a new path. You have everything you need. There's something about your fierceness that could be cutting. Again, a little bit the way I was saying with Aries, this is the message, and you might want to like figure out how it fits into your life, how it resonates for you. But there's something about the fierceness. I'm so clear and powerful, I don't need anyone. That can be unhealthy, right? That can be like fuck you world, and this kind of self-isolation. Or it can be, no, I know, I am fierce and clear, and I know, and I choose to walk away. So just feel into which parts of those are activated, what your patterns and habits and narratives are around that. There's something about the drive to move that is very much with you. And think about the cobra, like they have this very majestic and dangerous capacity to protect themselves. So is that being well used? And do you need to go all the way? Like, do you need to like strike to kill? Or could you just stay in your cobra fierceness and know that's probably enough to keep 99% of trouble away? Interesting. All right, Gemini. Cancer. Crow and Knight of Swords. Interesting. The way these two show up on my desk in front of me, they're like encountering each other. So the Knight of Swords is rushing in, and the Crow is kind of sitting there watching them, a little bit like, don't be foolish. Cancer, pace yourself. What I said before about paying attention, about slowing down. You are going to feel this tension between wisdom and impulsiveness that is going to be activated this month. I don't know, there's something about this idea of needing to save someone or save something, or like I have to speak up, I have to say something, this is unjust and it can't remain. And then the Crow is kind of watching like, relax, let's take a higher perspective. Do we have to be the one to fix everything, or could we just watch for a little while? Could we understand something's not right and also not take the responsibility to be the one to save the world? Does that make sense? It's an interesting energy, and it feels like a little bit like an internal conflict. And there's just this sense of when you feel that impulse, like I gotta do something right now, take a breath and just look around and feel your feet on the ground and think about whether you really need to. So your reactivity is definitely highlighted, but so is your capacity to know exactly what to do and to make the wise choice. And lastly, Leo, King of Swords and Earthworm. King of Swords and Earthworm, so different. You know, I had a session this week where we talked about this idea of this person had been living in their, what they would refer to as in their head and in their mental body, that they were very like mind driven, but what actually they were was very instinctive, very fire driven. But because no one had ever really talked to them about that, they had never really teased apart this idea of mental energy and fire energy. Those two things had become kind of conflated in their mind. So their energetic body and their mental body to them were one thing. That comes up here because there's something about your fire, obviously, you have your beautiful energetic body, and there can be a way in which you're trying to translate or make sense of or rationalize something that is just true and is just uncomfortable and is just emerging in your life. And be patient. The King of Swords says be patient. It's not black and white. There's a gray area. And I'm learning how to be with my energy, my intuition, my inspiration in a way that, my passion, my sexuality, in a way that is new. And that's not something that my mind needs to solve, that my mind needs to fix, that my mind needs to quite even grasp at this moment. Be really patient with your energetic upgrading and shifting this month, that live wire energy I talked about in the overall reading. Okay, dudes, this is going to be a cool month. Wheel of Fortune, Dragon, Hummingbird, and everything I just shared with you. Be kind to each other. Be kind to each other. This is going to be different for everyone, and it can never hurt to be kind, to be curious, to offer love. I was thinking about that in another part of my life. I have some way in which I'm socializing that I haven't in a long time, and we can leave people better than we found them. We can offer love, we can offer kindness and generosity pretty much always. It's just a matter of whether we feel clear and strong and grounded enough to do that. Think about that this month. Everyone's going through deep changes. Everyone's heart is calling for something. It's all good. It's all right. We're all right on time. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. Love you. Love September. Sweet, sweet September. Let's see what happens. Talk to you soon. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you our pure potential. It's giving mystical.